it's Jasmine, and today we are going to do another Q&A about raw cat food and the raw cat food diet. I got quite a few questions in the comments for the other videos, so I'm actually going to make this a two-parter where we do part 1 and part 2 of these questions. This, as the title says, is part 1. Just in case this is your first time on my channel, I will put something up here, like a little box or a little link to the how to make a raw cat food video, which is what a lot of these questions are pertaining to. So if you haven't watched that yet, pause this video, go watch that first, and then see if any of these questions are relevant to you if you're interested in feeding your cat a raw food diet. Oh, I also want to precurse this as I do most of these videos in saying that I'm not a vet. I am a human coach and personal trainer and nutrition specialist and author of things and all that stuff, but basically I became an accidental cat lady coach. My cat is really healthy and I've done a lot of research on this, so I'm very confident in being an advocate for a raw food diet for cats, and I simply want to share this information so that other people who are cat lovers can also take care of their furry baby in the best way possible. Back to the questions. Do you need to blend the bones so much in the food? You don't need to blend the bones so much. If you look at my video, I basically blend them until they're the same consistency as the ground meat and organs and everything else, but I switched that up too. Like the last time I made his food, which was yesterday, I left the bones a little bit chunkier and in chunkier pieces because he's grown to actually like that more. So it's all a matter of preference. You could leave it chunky, you could leave it smooth, you could transition them from smooth to like the chunkier bone pieces, and that can lead us to the next question. Do you need to blend the food so much? Can it be left chunky? Yes. Some people, and I referred to this in a past Q&A, I think, some people actually chop up the chicken pieces and the raw meat, and they leave chopped chicken meat as opposed to grinding it up in the food. For me, I feel like I already put so much of an effort in, like I said in a past video, that if I have some spare time that day, I may leave, a couple chicken breasts aside and chop them up and put them in the food so he gets all the different texture and things. But for the most part, I just grind all the meat up. Another question I got, is this food more expensive to make than regular cat food? So by regular cat food, I'm guessing that you mean dry cat food. And yes, it is more expensive than dry cat food. As for canned, wet cat food, I think it depends. The tier of pricing, I would say, from least expensive to most expensive would be dry cat food, followed by wet cat food for the most part, followed by homemade raw cat food, followed by store-bought raw cat food. So basically, store-bought raw cat food is the most expensive food that you will spend money on, and the dry cat food is least expensive, and also the worst for your cat, by the way. I will make a separate video where I break down the pricing exactly when it comes to what one batch costs per meal for my cat, as well as how you can break it down to the cost of each meal, and that way it'll be easily comparable for you when it comes to how much more money or possibly less money you'll spend by making your own homemade raw cat food. Next question, why can't my store grind the chicken or the bones? Most stores won't grind the bones because they just don't have the equipment necessary, and or they don't want to risk messing up their machine by grinding the bones, which is totally understandable because they have very expensive equipment and it's just a safe way to go, especially in more chain supermarkets and things. Butchers, same thing. They typically don't have the type of equipment that's necessary or that they want to risk messing up in order to grind the bones. When it comes to chicken, a lot of stores don't grind up chicken because there's just such a high risk for contamination. I can make a whole nother video on this when it comes to chicken contamination from chicken feces, even interestingly how that is correlated with urinary tract infections in human beings. It's really interesting. That's a totally different subject though, and it's always best to not purchase pre-ground chicken just because there's a more chance of different pathogens and things to cause bad bacteria to get on the surface space of pre-ground chicken. So you do want to get the whole breast chicken, preferably with the bone, for if you're using chicken thighs, which is what I use. You do want to get that whole thing and then grind it at home if they can't grind it at the store. Or really just try and call around and try to find a store that will do it for you, because interestingly enough, I get mine at Publix. It's a chain in the southeastern US, and I have my go-to Publix, which is awesome because the people there are amazing, and most of them know in the meat department by now what to do, and they're awesome and they're quick and they're like, yeah, I got you, and they don't look at me like I'm crazy when I request all these weird things. But I've been to a different Publix before, actually a couple of different ones, and one of them told me they couldn't grind up chicken, and it was actually like a store-wide thing for all of their stores, which obviously isn't true. And another one tried to tell me there was an extra fee to grind up chicken and organ and things, which again, wasn't true. So it's just about finding the right place and kind of shopping around until you do find that place. But back to the question, that's why some stores won't or can't grind up chicken, is because of the contamination factor. And they won't grind up the bones because of the fact that it might mess up their equipment. Next question, are all of the vitamin supplements necessary in the raw cat food? The total was very expensive on Amazon. I'll leave links to everything in the description below, but in my raw cat food video, I do leave a link to the recipe on Puppy's website, which includes the links to all of the supplements on Amazon. Let me answer the first part first. Yes, these supplements are necessary. They're necessary in order to have this food mimic the diet of cat if they were to catch something out in the wild and have all of the nutrients available to them in a small animal like a mouse, for example. This is why we include the bones and certain supplements, especially like taurine. Taurine is an amino acid that is very, very important for your cat to have. It's provided in the chicken hearts in my recipe. The main reason that chicken hearts are so important is because of the taurine. So if you can't find chicken hearts, which they can be hard to find sometimes, you just simply need to replace that with more taurine and a little bit more meat to make up for the bulk that would have been the chicken hearts in the food. And I have gotten most of my information from the website feline-nutrition.org, which I'll also leave a link to in the description below. They have so much info on there, and a lot of what I tell you guys and how I came up with my recipe for Puppy is derived from that website. It has so much information. It has one-page guides. It has recipe calculators. So I will link that in the description below to try and give you guys as much information as possible if you still have questions. When it comes to the total being very expensive on Amazon for all of the supplements, it's important to realize that you are buying them in bulk. You're buying a huge bag that might cost $20, but that bag can last you 2 years, a couple of years. I bought one giant bag. I'm thinking just an example of taurine. If you go to the raw cat food video, I show it to you and you'll see how big it is. But every time you make a batch, you might use just a heaping half teaspoon of that powder. So let's say that giant bag has the equivalent of 200 teaspoons. That's 400 half teaspoons. That's basically enough for 400 batches of this food. You make the food, let's average out twice a month. That's 24 times a year, and you have enough for 400 batches. So basically, you're paying $20 for this giant bag, which you can also get a smaller size if you're worried about the supplement actually expiring or going bad. But at the end of the day, it adds up to be really, really inexpensive, and the main investment that you're putting into it is the time to make the food a couple times a month, which is totally worth it because you'll have a beautiful or handsome furry baby who is super soft and healthy with no urinary tract infections, and that will live forever, because don't we all want our cats to live forever? That's my goal. Next question was, how much does it cost for everything? That totally depends on where you buy it from, how big your batch is gonna be, the quality of the meat you get, the livers, the hearts, all of those factors. But it's also important to kind of relate this to humans. If a person invests in their nutrition a little bit more, and if they invest in their diet to where they're eating healthier foods and opting for something that might cost a little bit more initially, you're saving yourself money in the long run, because by taking good care of yourself, you're not spending as much money on medical bills or pharmaceuticals or medications, prescriptions, going to the doctor, going to specialists, all of these things that are a huge investment. So it's insurance in a way, and that is what the raw food diet is for your cat. It's preventing them from getting the urinary and bladder infections, which are super common in cats, and kidney infections. It's preventing them from obesity because you're portioning out the food properly. It's helping them have a better temperament. These are all things I talk about in my benefits of raw food video for cats, which I will go ahead and link up here, or I might just link my cat stuff playlist, which has just all of these videos if you want to watch them all. The fact is that the cost is totally worth it, because it's not that much more expensive than dry food. All it really takes is a little bit more of your effort and time. And again, I know I'm kind of a broken record with this stuff, but you gotta treat your cat like it's your kid, because it pretty much is. You know, it's a part of your family, and you want to take care of those things and hope that they live long, healthy lives where you can love each other day in and day out and be happy and healthy. Next question is, how important is the bone? The bone is very important, just like the supplements are very important in the food, but you can make the food without the bone. They do have replacement supplements that are like a bone powder mineral and things like that. I might leave links to that below, but the bone is really beneficial. Besides providing calcium, it does have other benefits, and it is the #1 option. But if for some reason you can't find chicken thighs with the bone in, or you can't put the bone in the food, there are other options for it, but the calcium does need to be included. Eggshells actually do contain calcium too, so there is an option to grind up some eggshells within your food so that your cat gets it that way, but you'll probably also need an additional calcium supplement to put in the food. I would have to research this a little bit better, but I will leave a link in the description below to the nutrition, felinenutrition.org, where you can get more information about that. Another question, I'm concerned with parasites. Is there any way to prevent my cat from contracting parasites? When it comes to felines, they have a very acidic digestive system and acidic saliva. A lot of times when people are allergic to cats, it's that they're allergic to the dander from the cats licking themselves, and basically, rather than the cat fur, what people are allergic to is the cat saliva. I found that super interesting. So when it comes to parasites, the feline genre of animals, because they have such an acidic digestive system that is meant to handle these raw or potentially pathogenic foods with harmful bacteria and things, their systems can handle it and kill it a little bit more efficiently than, say, humans or dogs even. Not only that, but cats are really finicky, and they're really intuitive with things, especially their food. So if they sense something is bad with it, then they're not going to touch it. They're not going to eat it. I've mentioned this before. If I've had meat in the fridge too long, maybe a couple of days before I can actually make the food, or sometimes even if I've purchased a lower quality chicken liver than what I usually get, which is a pretty good quality chicken liver, Puppy, he won't touch it. He'll sniff it, he'll sniff around it, he'll scratch around it, and he won't touch it. So you have to trust your cat's instincts, but also trust the fact that their systems can handle these things. So always get the freshest meat possible, the freshest organs and food and eggs possible to make them their food, and you should be absolutely fine. Also make sure to get the whole chicken thigh itself instead of anything pre-ground, because that will be even less of a chance that there's bacteria on the food itself. I think we're gonna end this with one more question since this video is getting kind of long. Your cat hates you? Question mark? If by hates me, you mean loves me so much that he can't leave my side and will sleep on my face and drool all over me in the process while he's purring like a motorboat, then yes, he hates me. He hates me a lot. All right, that is it for part 1 of this Q&A. I hope that you had some of your questions answered. Please feel free to leave a comment down below if you have a question that you want to be answered in the next Q&A, or if you have any specific videos that you want to be made. Also, make sure to like this video by clicking the thumbs up down this way, I believe. Might be this way, I don't know. It helps me to know what you guys like to see so I can put out more videos of that content. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below. If you want to get updates and notifications whenever I upload a new video, just click that subscribe button, and that way you'll also be notified when I put out part 2 of this Q&A video, which has a bunch more interesting questions that I'm going to hopefully provide some insight and answers on. And I will be having a giveaway since we are nearing 1,000 subscribers, which is super awesome. So thanks so much for subscribing and for watching. I am gonna do a giveaway at the 1,000 subscriber mark. That's gonna be pretty cool for the cat lovers and the people who are interested in improving their own health and fitness and wellness and all those fun things. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Real quick, grocery store tour guide, holistic fitness starter guide. This is full of a ton of things. It's great for kids. I think it's great for people going off to college. Of course, the holistic fitness starter guide, which is a breakdown of my approach when it comes to feeling your best, feeling your healthiest. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, that's it.